Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Akanksha Seth and this is your online English class, kahin bhi aur kabhi bhi. When it comes to English speaking, I have only one motto: keep practicing and keep learning. Today we will be learning about a very important aspect of English grammar and English communication, a very important aspect of spoken English, which are the grammatical voices in English. Now, what do I mean by that? In English, specifically, there are two kinds of voices, primarily active voice and passive voice. सुनने में थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है बट कॉन्सेप्ट बहुत ईजी है. When I say active voice, please hear me out very carefully. Ram killed the thief. This is active voice. Ram killed the thief. Active voice. Now, when I translate it to passive voice, it would be the thief was killed by Ram. The thief was killed by Ram. बहुत ध्यान से समझिएगा. When in active voice, the entire emphasis of the sentence and of the communicator is on the subject, on the doer. So in active voice, the doer is the primary subject. यानी कि पूरा हमारा attention, पूरा सेंटेंस का जो मूल है वो है डूअर, यानी कि जिसने काम किया. नेक्स्ट, इन पैसिव वॉइस, द थीफ वाज किल्ड बाय राम. द थीफ वाज किल्ड बाय राम, यानी कि हमारा जो इंटरप्रिटेशन है, हम जो समझाना चाह रहे हैं वो थोड़ा सा चेंज हो गया है. इन दिस सेंटेंस, द act of the thief being killed is more important. The verb is more important. What activity has taken place, what action has taken place, that is more important. And Ram, who in active voice was the subject, is not the subject anymore, which means that in passive voice, the act that has been performed is becoming the primary subject matter in the sentence. Let's repeat that. In active voice, the person, the entity, or the thing is the more important factor in the sentence. And in passive voice, the act that has been performed is the subject matter. Which means that in active voice, the subject performs an action. And in passive voice, the verb is acting on the subject. Alright? Moving on. Now, what is the difference between active voice and passive voice? If you really want to understand this clearly, you need to understand the concepts. Now, when I say active voice, it is a very direct way of communicating, and it is always more advisable to communicate, be it spoken English, written English, your essays, your interviews, anywhere, answer writing, anywhere, it is recommended कि आप हमेशा active voice में लिखें. All right? And when it comes to passive voice, ये कुछ situations में, in fact, थोड़ा dry sound करता है. It may sound very indirect and therefore it is not advisable. Passive voice can also sound very detached for that matter. अब अगर ये दो अलग अलग voices हैं तो इनके दो अलग अलग usage भी होंगे. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it is recommended that by default आप हमेशा active voice में ही सारा अपना English का communication करें. Now, that brings me to passive voice कहाँ use करना है. Passive voice is generally used for, let's say, recording historical events or the experiments that you conduct in science. There you will use passive voice. Now, what does that mean? Let's say the XYZ part of India was conquered by Akbar. Now, this is passive voice. It is a historical event, and the act of the southern part of India being conquered, the verb is more important than the subject in this sentence, which is King Akbar. Therefore, that is passive voice. Now, I also refer to the science experiments. Let's say, all right, hydrogen was combined. So, all right, two parts of hydrogen were combined with one part of oxygen to form water. This was done. Now, the act of combination, the act of forming a molecule of water is more important. Therefore, that is passive voice. In this way, you will be able to use active voice and passive voice differently depending upon the situation. All right. Now, let me give you another example. Active voice. In our community, people like to eat spicy food. In our community, people like to eat spicy food. Spicy food has always been liked by the people of our community. The first was active voice and the second was passive voice. Now, one formula which is applicable in most cases in translating active voice to passive voice is generally, let's say 60 to 70% of the times you can use this formula. You can use the word by to translate from active voice to passive voice. As I shared earlier, active voice. I prepared food. I prepared food. Passive voice would be the food was prepared by me. The food was prepared by me. All right. I hope that this entire video really helps you to understand the concept of active voice versus passive voice. If you have any questions or any queries regarding this video or even otherwise, please feel free to drop a comment and I will try to help you. Take care, keep practicing and keep speaking in English. Bye bye.